there is a huge football game awaiting us on Sunday afternoon. It's the number one crew from CBS. In fact, CBS is going to send their pregame crew, which is typically in the studio. They will be outside of Mile High. Very rare, only happens a couple times a year. It goes to show, though, the importance that a national network is taking Broncos Chiefs.
I mean, it's Sean Payton and Andy Reid, two of the older coaches in the league that have had success. Sean Payton has been to a Super Bowl and won one. Andy Reid seems to go every single year. You have the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback to play the game right now. Hey, don't be mad at me. Just know it's the truth. And then you have a young quarterback in Bo Nix that has to figure himself out so that they can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is going to be a big one. 8-2 Denver Broncos. Kansas City Chiefs are starting to get hot. Who is for real and who is not?
I love it, man. It's one of, I think this week in the NFL, not every week's like this, there is some fantastic football games. Have you checked out the slate yet?
No, I haven't checked this out.
Okay.
Go ahead and get me to this.
How about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Buffalo Bills? Baker Mayfield against Josh Allen. How about, I think it's a low-key good game. I think it's going to be a real good game, and I think someone's on upset alert. Not a huge upset, but the Chargers traveling to Jacksonville. Jacksonville hasn't played home in a while. They're a 3-point underdog. I've already taken those points. I think they win the game on the field. Then how about in the afternoon slot? The Seahawks at the Rams.
Uh-oh.
That is a heavyweight fight.
Cooper Kupp reunion back against his old team.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
that's a fun one.
That's going to be a good showdown.
No doubt about it. That will start about 20 minutes before Kansas City at Denver. And then the nighttime game, Sunday Night Football, the Detroit Lions at the Philadelphia Eagles. That's some fun football here.
This is why we watch the games. This is why we enjoy the NFL landscape and just how things are done, because these games are usually going to be close. And there's some really great matchups this week. How about Josh Allen and Baker kind of going back and forth with each other? They have a good relationship, but they were talking smack to each other. Like, that's what I love to see.
Were they? I missed that.
Yeah. Baker was like, hey, like, Josh needs to wear 2 gloves. Josh needs to wear 2 gloves if he's going to play against me, and there's a reason for it. And then Josh said, well, Baker
I think it's going to be snowy in Buffalo on Sunday.
I figured. And Josh was like, well, Baker wears 2 gloves while he plays golf. I was like, damn.
I like it. Those are two fun personalities.
Yeah.
Baker for sure. Okay, so Broncos Chiefs coming down the pike this weekend. It's right around a 4-point spread. This should be a close game. These games have been close with Kansas City and the Denver Broncos. Here is Sean Payton on if he sees anything that Bo Nix can improve on, especially in the first 3 quarters.
It's our jobs, to offensively put ourselves in a position of starting faster. And when I discussed this after the game, there aren't many times when a game's over, when you win even, where you're fully satisfied. There's something bugging you. There's something, and certainly, getting that balance, and the time of possession also to help our defense. I like that this year we're doing better in these one-score games, and I think you gained some confidence. And if you tried to pick when did that turn, you might look at Philly. But to go where we want to go, there has to be improvement, and certainly we understand that.
So, Sean, trying to highlight some of the positives, right? Hey, we're winning some of these one-score games that we lost a year ago, and that is true. A 1-score win against Tennessee, a 1-score win against the Eagles, a 1-score win against the Jets, a 1-score win against the Giants, a 1-score win against the Texans, and a 1-score win against the Raiders.
Man, that's like pretty much all the games they played so far.
Honestly, pretty much. There's been one blowout win over Dallas and another over Cincinnati. That's it. So a 6 of the 8 wins are by 1 score.
Yeah, and that's what it shows you, though, Zach, that this is what you kind of are dealing with the NFL. You're going to be in tight games. You're going to be in 1-score games. Can you pull them out for the Denver Broncos? They're pulling these games out this year, which helps you out when you're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, which you will probably be in a 1-score game.
Agreed. And here's the kicker, though, and it was the complete opposite a year ago. Kansas City's losing the 1-score games now. Remember last year? I forget what the stat was. It was like 10-0 in 1-score games. They already have a 1-score loss to the Chargers, a one-score loss to the Eagles, a one-score loss to the Jags, a one-score loss to the Bills. They have not gotten blown out in any game. Each of their losses, you're talking a 6-point loss, a 3-point loss, a 7-point, a 3-point loss, a 6-point loss. I mean, that's how it's gone. The worm has turned on Kansas City, and
But how do you feel about that? You put the stats out there. They're 0-4 right now in one-score games. But you're dealing with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and a defense that has been good for a long time, a team that has went to 3 straight Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes, who's 94-27 in his career in regular season games. So although it seems bad for the Chiefs, the resume shows that in these one-score games, you don't want to bet against the Kansas City Chiefs, and you definitely, if you have a choice, put it on them. Don't let it come down to Patrick Mahomes having the ball at the end of that game.
Definitely not.
Don't do that.
I would not be banking on resume during Chiefs week. I just wouldn't, for the reasons that you just described. And this is not just another Sunday game. This is the Chiefs coming off a bye. You want to know what Andy Reid's record is coming off the bye week? He's played 26 games coming off the bye. 22 wins, 4 losses. A winning percentage of .846, the greatest of all time. So that's the intersection of this Sunday's game. And that has to be it carries weight with a sample size like that. I mean, that carries a hefty weight.
Well, didn't Sean actually have a conversation with Andy Reid about the bye? I want to say maybe a year ago or two about like how he should approach the bye, and had a talk with him.
Yes, he did, and
pick his brain.
It was his year that he was out of coaching at Fox.
Yes, and so it's like, so Sean knows what's in store when you're going up against Andy Reid, who's coming off a bye. For Sean now, it's like, what can I do to put my team offensively, specifically the offense, in good situations to help on our defense, but sustain drives so that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, all right, the guru when it comes to play calling, they don't get into a rhythm.
Well, Sean also said at the end of that soundbite that we just played a few minutes ago, he leads with the positives, but then at the end he's like, we understand, like, and I'm paraphrasing, but how far we still need to go offensively.
Yeah.
If you think Sean Payton is walking around that facility and like walking on air, whistling that they're 8-2, man, you're nuts. That this is someone who is not a happy camper.
It's like, you're spot on. And I've talked to some people in that building that have been upfront and honest, saying, hey, we walk into the building after a game and we win, it still feels like we have to walk on eggshells. Well, why is that? Because Sean Payton is not happy. Why is he not happy? Because of his offense, because of his quarterback that he handpicked. And now he's not happy because he probably doesn't have J.K. Dobbins, because he's missing on what's going on with Bo Nix and how to make him tick right now. He's trying to figure things out while missing a key player, while missing also a key player on defense. So you know Sean Payton's not happy right now, and he's trying to figure out things, but he needs to hurry up and figure things out because that game is happening on Sunday.
Yeah, it's kicking off regardless.
No matter what.
Yeah, but right now Sean Payton is probably amongst the most unhappy head coaches of an 8-2 football team of all time. And he was asked if he can make things easier for Bo Nix, and this is what Sean said.
I think it's not it's not Bo. I mean, I think it's part of the whole process offensively and constantly in our game planning this week. Certainly opponents vary what they do scheme-wise. This is a pressure team, and so our job each week, we're always looking to find easy completions. When I look at the touchdown reel on Mondays, I've said this to you before, sometimes you look at a play and you just say, player, he went up, made a great play. And then sometimes someone's wide open and you click that button, you save it, and that was scheme. And so we're constantly looking at, how can we find, those throws that fit the scheme and the defense you're attacking. Obviously, the penalties, we've got to, we're doing a great job of not taking sacks, but when we're all of a sudden, 1st and 20, we've got to eliminate those.
All right, so he covered a lot of ground there.
He did.
Man, I found something so interesting in the middle of that answer. when Sean Payton is talking about watching the other teams on the touchdown reel on a Monday morning. Now, I kind of know what that looks like because at the end of every day on Red Zone, they show you every single touchdown that's been scored throughout the day.
All the highlights. They make it look easy, don't they?
And, yeah, when you just see the highlights.
I'm like, damn, why can't I do that?
And my 7-year-old Owen just loves when Scott Hansen tosses it to all the touchdowns of the day, and he just gets so fired up. But it's interesting that, like, this is not like studying someone else's offense during the offseason. Sean talks about doing dives on these offenses and trying to learn from other. Like, that's different. I just find it interesting. And maybe all coaches do this. I really don't know. But I don't think so. Not during the season. And I'm guessing, I'm speculating. But it's interesting that, like, he is watching these other teams and he's looking for things that will work within his scheme. And this is a guy who is known as this, like, legendary play caller, but he's watching these other teams just like we are, trying to find out, man, like, could this work? Could that work? And I find that fascinating.
He's human, though, Zach, right? He's human, and right now, he's questioning his ability as a play caller. Let's be real.
You may be right.
What's going on? The screens aren't working. The deep ball is not working. The middle of the field, the time, the rhythm, the processing seems to not be there with Bo Nix. Is it my scheme? Is it the players around him? Because it seems like he doesn't want to put Bo as, like, the reason why things are not working right now.
Correct.
Which is still interesting too, right? He's talking about scheme. He's talked about the penalties, which is true. And then, of course, it's the players. Hey, make plays. Players make plays. Players win games for you. Catch the ball. But for Bo, it seems like he's kind of at the back end of, like, his thought process on why his offense is not working. So for Sean, it's like, don't second guess yourself. Because you have schemed up plays that have worked. Bo Nix has not hit on some of those plays. Some of the receivers have dropped balls to sustain drives.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are the most penalized team. So you guys are very undisciplined. So let's work with those first. Be a little bit more disciplined to stay on that football field. Hit on the open targets if you're Bo Nix. And for the receivers, catch the damn ball.
Yeah.
And that's where I would start. Now, I know Sean's trying to protect his quarterback. He loves his cue.
He loves his cue.
But also, it does have to do a little bit with Bo. There's plays to be made. Go out there and make them.
Do you believe that, like, he is not being critical of Bo? I understand why he's not being critical of Bo in a setting like a press conference. But do you think behind closed doors that he is coaching Bo hard?
Oh, I believe he's coaching Bo hard. I think that's the only way Sean knows how to coach. I think from listening to my teammates who have played for Coach Sean Payton, he is going to tell you the truth. The truth doesn't always feel good. We know that. And so he is honest. And I think he's really honest with Bo because that's his baby. So he can be honest, but he has to still handle him with care because he's young and he's still growing and he's improving and he's developing. So you have to understand what you're doing. And it's like having kids. There's a certain place that you take them before it's like, okay, that's too much. Right? Like daddy still loves you. I love you, but you still need to do the right thing.
Sure.
So he's trying to do that, and that's for Sean. He's trying to do that with Bo Nix. Now, as a player, I'm looking at how can I help Bo Nix out? How can I take pressure off of him? How can I be a servant towards my quarterback so that we can start winning games? I don't want him to feel the pressure. I don't want him to feel like this is all on him. So maybe I need to do a little bit more. Maybe I need to hold up in blocking just a little bit longer. Maybe I do need to catch that ball and break a tackle to make it easier on him. So as a player, you're not blaming Bo Nix. You're blaming yourself if you're a really good player. So for Cortland, it's like, how can I get open to where Bo Nix has no choice but to throw it to me? That's the mindset right now, I feel like, in the building to help a young quarterback in Bo Nix. They do not want him to lose confidence. Because knowledge equals confidence equals playing fast. If he's losing confidence, he is not playing fast.
Well, he does not look like a confident player to me.
Yeah.
And if what you said is true about Sean Payton might not be the most confident play caller right now. If he's looking around the league for things that could help his offense, like, I just don't know. And it might be the best approach. I really don't know. But I don't think, and again, I am speculating, but I don't think when he had it humming in New Orleans, he's watching the rest of the league's touchdowns to see what will work in New Orleans.
Maybe like picking a brain here or there, like, okay, this play is unique. Like, let's implement it in our offense because we have Drew Brees and we can do that. But when you're dealing with a young quarterback, you can't add plays that they don't know about or they haven't repped. You have to go with what you have practiced throughout camp, your identity. Find your identity again, because now we know like the identity of this team is running the ball, but yet JK's not going to play. So what are you going to do to help your offense and help Bo Nix out, knowing that you may still have to throw a little bit more than you run if you don't trust the run game?
Yeah. On the RamosLaw.com text line, throw your name on it, give you a shout out. 635 says he doesn't have enough plays on his menu, so let's add more plays? Question mark. Hey, I understand that as well. That things have been so convoluted. The starting quarterback is caught on the microphone saying enough with the effing personnel groupings. I mean, and then so if you're looking around the league to add more, I understand why that listener turned texter would say that, and we'll see how this all works. You know, it's got to work, right? And so it's right now it's not working. It is big picture because you're being propped up by the best defense in football, but it's not sustainable. They need to start to find some semblance of success.
Well, Sean said it's not on Bo. So if they're going to find this success, it's minimize the penalties, catch the ball. That's the thing I look at when he says it's not on Bo, and then he goes on a list of his scheme, the penalties, and then the players making more plays.
I just think that I think that there is room to be a little bit more honest, because we watch the games too, you know? So like when you say it's not on Bo and we are seeing Bo dirt the ball or miss open receivers, it's like, how about just everyone's got to be better?
So that's what. So if you're Sean Payton, and you're in this situation right now, and Bo Nix struggling, you're saying that
because it's struggling to such a degree. You lead the NFL in 3 and outs. You lead the NFL in punts. So like, it's not just on penalties and drops. I have to be better. I'm Sean Payton. I have to be better. All right, and we're working at it. Bo's got to be better.
Yeah.
Our receivers have to be better. When we're one of the most inept offenses, and he wouldn't say this, but like we know our standing offensively. You
said it.
You don't get there by accident. Everyone needs to step up, and it starts on Sunday against Kansas City. And I'm not telling Sean how to do his job. I guess I am in some ways, but
Sean, are you listening?
But look, like I have eyes and an actively working brain. Don't say it's not on Bo. Some of it is on Bo. That's okay.
No, it is. Like, this is a team sport. Offensively, we know the most important position on that football field, especially offense, is your quarterback. And if your quarterback is not right or not making the right plays, not making some of the right checks when he can, it hurts the team. It hurts the offense. And now you do go 3 and out. You don't sustain drives. You make those mistakes that you wouldn't make. And so this is just another thing for Bo where it's like, you got to overcome it, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going at you. You know that you're feeling the heat. You're the quarterback. You're still young. You're developing. But you got to make the easy plays. Make those ones count. Utilize your legs to sustain drives and keep plays alive. And you go from there. And Sean, just have confidence in what you're doing. What you're doing is still working. There's plays that are there to be made. Bo and the team have to make them.
Here is Sean Payton. He was asked about Troy Franklin, and then the next question was about Courtland Sutton.
Yes,
and that's been a theme throughout this week of talking. That we talked about it on Monday. That Troy Franklin's targets in the last 5 weeks are in the 40s. Courtland Sutton's are in the 20s. And there hasn't been any production from the guy getting the targets in the 40s. Troy Franklin averaging 35 yards a game, despite being targeted like a number one receiver. Yeah. 8 targets a game in the last 5 weeks. It hasn't all been bad, but it's also not good enough. We'll see what Sean Payton's take on Troy Franklin getting more targets here in the last month and change.
He's getting more snaps. One of the things that he can do well is transition. And, you know, a lot of teams are using this turbo motion. He's explosive. It's one thing to say run fast sideways and then make a left-hand turn and then run a route. And so it used to be just turbo. Now we got a name after each. I mean, he can bend and transition, and it's a little bit like last year. And remember in training camp, you know, will we see the progression that we saw kind of like Mims a year ago, and I think we're seeing in a real good way year 2 for him.
So he's referencing Mims and his, ascension in the second half of year number 2.
And we talked about that.
We did. We literally used him as an example for the Franklin conversation. With all due respect, and Troy has been solid this year, I think solid.
He had a great camp. Like he's moving in the right direction to become a receiver 2, and maybe later on in his career, a receiver 1. Like Devontae Adams said to our boy PS2 when he was younger. He's not there yet. He's not there yet. So if Troy Franklin is not there yet, stop forcing it. Let it organically happen like it did for Marvin Mims, where Mims was able to get open, get the separation, and Bo Nix and Marvin Mims had a great connection last year.
They did.
They helped us win a lot of football games.
And that's why I sort of just kind of bristle at the, hey, it's looking like Mims last year. Like, I don't think so. Not quite. It's one of the bigger disconnects in professional football right now, down the football field. Passes of 20 yards or more where Mims was truly thriving.
Yeah.
We're not really seeing that with Troy Franklin.
No.
It's 2 for 16 on the season.
Yeah.
So it's got some room to grow. Now, here is Sean Payton's response to our defense is keying in more on Cortland Sutton.
We get some Cortland double. Philly, near the end of the game, man, we had a play we liked, and shoot the safety went right to him, and we ended up throwing it away. So a lot of it depends on the defensive coordinator, and Steve's done this long enough. He'll take away or try to take away your targets in certain situations. Last week we got some safety lean, and so when you're looking at the pictures, you're discussing the coverage. A handful of it was lean 14, and they were still playing man, and so then you got to make some hay. Either opposite of that, or you got to move 14 and put him in positions where it's a little bit more difficult to do that. If you just put him at X, you can easily remove a split end, but if he moves, if he jets, if they're matching, some teams match corners. So we've had a few of those, and then some teams are right and left. So, yeah, I think a lot of it's depending on the defensive coordinator, and it may be red zone or it may be third down, but we've certainly seen it.
Okay, I'm really curious your take on that answer.
Zach, I was writing down a bunch of stuff. One, stop with the excuses. You get your best receiver involved.
Yes, thank you.
Now, tell me this. Everybody knows that, and I'm not comparing Christian McCaffrey with Cortland, but everybody knows that Christian McCaffrey is the best thing the 49ers have offensively. And yet, he finds a way, the offensive coordinator finds a way to get my man the ball.
Of course.
You have Cortland Sutton, your best receiver right now. All right, and you're talking about leaning, coverage. When I'm watching film, they're pretending to lean. It's a disguise. And then they're going into man. That means that you have Cortland Sutton man-to-man, one-on-one with somebody that he can beat with the 50-50 ball, Zach. I don't like the excuses.
Phil,
get Cortland Sutton involved.
Agreed.
I'm sorry.
Agreed.
That pissed me off.
Here's Cortland Sutton is not being doubled. Has Cortland Sutton been doubled? Yes, but when he references the Philly game, that was a month and a half ago. Cortland Sutton is not being doubled. He's not. Now, occasionally will they shade coverage, but he is not. On a down-to-down basis, that's not happening.
No.
And so he's throwing a bunch of football at you, but it's like, no, Sean, not really. Not really. So we'll see if they adjust. They need to. They need to get back to basics and target the guy more who's top 10 in team history in yards, touchdowns, and receptions.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Hey, no 3 count today. We are blowing this thing out.